Most Malaysians working in Singapore make one very common mistake. They earn money like a Singaporean, but they also spend money like a Singaporean. That is why after 10 or even 15 years of working in Singapore, many people still do not end up with 1 million ringgit in savings. Today, I want to share a simple but very powerful idea. Budget like a Singapore worker, but spend like a Malaysian. This single mindset shift can easily save you tens of thousands of ringgit every year, without side hustles and without suffering. When you work in Singapore, your biggest advantage is not just your salary. Your biggest advantage is the strength of the Singapore dollar. However, this advantage only works if your daily expenses remain low in Singapore dollars, while your enjoyment and lifestyle spending happen mainly in Malaysia, using ringgit. Singapore dollars that you save can be converted or invested and will grow faster over time. Singapore dollars that you spend every day on lifestyle quietly disappear. The goal here is not to torture yourself or live miserably. The goal is smart separation. Singapore is for earning and saving, while Malaysia is for living and enjoying. Let us start with the biggest expense for most people, which is rent. Rent is one of the biggest silent wealth killers for Malaysians working in Singapore. Many people upgrade too quickly. They move from a shared room to a master room, then to a studio, and eventually to a condominium. Each upgrade feels small at the beginning, but over the long term, the damage is massive. A shared room might cost around 600 to 800 Singapore dollars a month, while a studio can easily cost $2,000 or more. The extra $1,200 every month is more than 4,000 ringgit. Over a year, that is close to 50,000 ringgit. This one decision alone can delay your journey to 1 million ringgit by 5 to 7 years. The rule is very simple. Sleep cheap and wake up richer. You do not need luxury where you sleep if your goal is long-term wealth. Next, let us talk about food. Food in Singapore can actually be affordable if you eat like a local. Hawker centers, coffee shops, and simple meals are not only cheap but also convenient. Compare this with cafe lunches that easily cost $18 to $25 per meal. If you eat cafe food every working day, you could be spending 400 to 500 Singapore dollars a month just on lunch. That money is much better spent on your family, your future, or your peace of mind. The rule here is to eat for fuel in Singapore and feast in Malaysia. Now let us talk about transport. Cars in Singapore are one of the fastest ways to destroy your savings. Between the COE, insurance, parking, and maintenance, even a modest car can easily cost 1,500 to 2,000 Singapore dollars a month. Singapore's public transport is reliable, clean, and predictable in cost. If you do not truly need a car for work or family reasons, do not buy one. In Singapore, the MRT is not just transport. The MRT is wealth. Another big problem area is lifestyle spending. This is where money leaks quietly. Bubble tea, Grab rides, subscriptions, impulse shopping, and small weekend spending all feel harmless on their own. However, when combined, they can drain your savings every month. You do not need to cut everything out of your life. What you need is awareness. Always ask yourself whether this spending is truly improving your life or just quietly killing your savings. This brings us to the weekend strategy, which is the biggest advantage Malaysians have. Instead of spending your weekends in Singapore on expensive cafes, malls, and shopping, consider going back to Malaysia more often. In Malaysia, you can eat better, spend less, and recharge emotionally. The enjoyment is the same, but the cost is 30 to 50% lower. You are not being stingy. You are being strategic. You are choosing where your money gives you the most happiness. Let me give you a simple comparison. Imagine two workers earning the same salary in Singapore. The first worker rents a studio, eats out frequently at cafes, spends freely on transport and lifestyle, and saves only about $500 a month. The second worker keeps rent low, eats simple meals, controls lifestyle spending, and saves $2,500 a month. They earn the same income, but their futures are completely different. Over 10 to 15 years, one struggles, while the other quietly builds 1 million ringgit. Working in Singapore already gives you an advantage. However, advantage alone is not enough. You must protect it with the right habits. Budget like a Singapore worker, and spend like a Malaysian. If you do this consistently for 10 to 15 years, 1 million ringgit becomes realistic, not a dream. If you are Malaysian and currently working in Singapore, like and subscribe for more practical money content. Share this video with a friend who is overspending in Singapore. And comment below, which expense is the hardest for you to control.